covered with excerpts from The Narrow Road to the Deep North, the celebratory journal written by haiku master Matsuo Basho in 1689. It's full of tasks for locating difficult to recognize beauty and graceful acceptance of restraint, inconvenience, and uncertainty through his trip in the northern part of Japan that includes modern-day Fukushima, the site of the ongoing nuclear disaster following the 2011 Daiichi nuclear plant explosions. The practice of making this art is part of my dialogue to bring out our history of nuclear connection, the stories of downwinders, and systemic suppression and oppression, as well as my effort to always remember the affected communities and the beautiful traditions that each of these communities hold dear. In that, and it was also Yuki's idea to take the donations that you all generously gave and to make a donation to the Marshallese Education Institute, rather than paying her for the land that she donated generously. The Marshallese Education in the States for the Marshallese diaspora. So a check of $1,000 in your honor is going to MEI.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have,
There's more. Okay, so the other gift that we have for Kelly, sorry to open it in front of everybody, is, yeah, we open it now. Is made by a local artist, a friend of mine, Lila. That's the stand. That is, you can use it or not, but it's a paper wooden crane. Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
But yeah, and I have to give Elaine McKenzie credit for credit for the idea for this gift. She's not able to be here today because her grandchildren got in at midnight last night from Alaska. But yeah, we wanted to give you, again, a memento of your work here and the work you will continue to do in the peace movement. So thank you.
And one more thing that Kelly has done extremely graciously is she has stayed on board to overlap with our incoming executive director. So I'm really excited. I'm not excited that Kelly's leaving. I'm really excited that Kelly's still in the movement and will be doing wonderful work at Colombia River Keeper. And that Kamil Khan, would you stand up, Kamil? I'm not sure if everyone's Kamil's our new executive director, and I'm really excited to work with him going forward.
Very good.
Wow. Well, thank you, Pat, for telling the embarrassing story. I will say when we were in jail and we were getting booked and they pat you down and everything and they're like, "Are you wearing a bra and panties?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "No, wait, I'm wearing Depends." I was like, "It's not an everyday thing." The cop was like, okay. But it's a good tip if you're ever in that kind of situation. Wow, I didn't really prepare any remarks because those of you who know me know that I'm better off the cuff than I am at actually planning. So it is my party and I will cry if I want to because it means a lot to me that you all came out for this and that you all have been family and partners and my friends and the people in the movement that have been doing such incredible work and that I've gotten to work with you all over the past 13 and a half years in this position is just phenomenal. So thank you for making this really an incredible job. It isn't just a job, as others were saying. I'm lucky to get paid to spend my time working with you all on the things that matter most in this world. So thank you for being part of that and making that possible for me and for others. I will say, when I first came to Oregon PSR, I didn't wear my glasses. I also never wear glasses. I have gray hair and glasses. When I started this job, I didn't have either of those. But I think I see Angela Crowley-Cook, who, when I first moved to Portland, was the ED at Oregon PSR, and I was like, oh, she's so cool, and I love what she does, and we got to hang out and do stuff together. And Catherine Thomason, where did Catherine go? Who was on the board and was the face of Oregon PSR everywhere I went. And so when the job opened up, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I didn't have to hesitate at all. And so I really feel blessed that I've had 13 and a half years following in the footsteps of some incredible women who went before me, making this a great organization, and working with so many of you who were around before my time. Lieutenant Bonnie was on the board in the 90s, and whose mom was the ED for 16 years? Yeah, Del Greenfield. I always feel like Del is sort of watching over and making sure I'm doing it right. So I hope that that's true. But change is also good, right? And that embracing change and moving on and doing new things is something I felt called to do. And I really wasn't looking for another job, but when I saw the policy director position at Colombia River Keeper, I knew that's where my heart is. I want to do that work because I'll be working in partnership with Oregon PSR on so many issues, and doing it from a different perspective and just getting a little change for myself, which feels great. I also, as I was leaving, I negotiated to accept a job in December and start in April because Colombia River Keeper was very clear that they wanted to make sure Oregon PSR was a strong organization and give enough time for an ED transition. And I've seen a lot of groups where the ED leaves and then they don't have a new ED for 6 months, and I think that's a hard thing to do. So I'm so excited that we found Kamil. Kamil's the new and improved version of me, and you'll see that tonight, and you'll see that for many years to come. We've had a fantastic time the past week, just hanging out and going over all of the details around finance and fundraising and HR and all of the nitty-gritty behind-the-scenes ED stuff that he'll be taking over, as well as really helping move the programs forward. And so I honestly can't imagine a better person to take over this position. He's got the skills, he's got the ideas, and he's got the passion. And I think that's something that's really important in this organization is the passion for the issues, the willingness to learn, and really caring deeply about building movements. And so I can't imagine a better successor, and I can't wait to see what the next chapter of Oregon PSR looks like. So I don't know if let me do one more thing. Some of our staff are not here. David moved to Eugene and has a now just about 3-month-old baby, so he is not here. But if you go to Eugene, you'll see him, and someday he'll emerge and come back and visit us in Portland more often. But David's our Healthy Climate Program Director. He's fantastic. Samantha, who is our clean energy organizer, climate justice organizer, she's actually she had a previously planned trip, and she's hiking today, or maybe she's done by now, in the Death Valley, so that's pretty cool. So, but I do want to introduce the staff who are here. Jesse Gasper. Jesse is our membership manager. He wants to manage you all. No, he wants to help grow our membership, right? So help get more health professionals, more people who care about these issues we work on involved in the organization, whether as volunteers or as donors or as members. So please talk to Jesse if you haven't yet. He's got great ideas. He's got a personal connection to the issues that we work on, and he's got the passion to really help move this organization. It's a new position for us, and so I'm really excited to see what Jesse, along with the rest of the team, can do. I also want to recognize Anna Kaler, who was up here on stage. Anna's our new communications manager, which is also a new position for us and is really growing into the role in incredible ways, making changes, figuring out new ways that we can both communicate more with the media, on social media, and the news, with our members and really get our voices heard out there. And so I've just been really honored to work with Anna for the past 6 months or so, and can't wait to see where she takes it from here. Karina, you all met. Karina's our longest standing staff member now. Karina started in January of 2020, and she works out of Salem on our campaign to close the Covanta Marion polluting incinerator and replace it with zero waste. And she came up to Portland once and we met and we were like, yeah, we're gonna hang out all the time. We're gonna go to Salem for staff meetings, and the pandemic happened. So Karina stuck with us and really brought new life to this campaign. I know many of you who've been around for years, like, we were always fighting against Covanta. We were always on the defensive, and now we're on the offense. Now we're bringing our own legislation, get the thing regulated as a medical waste incinerator, which will probably make it have to shut down because it'll be so expensive. Karina's been out engaging the community in Brooks, Oregon, where the incinerator is located, talking to people in English and in Spanish, and letting them have a voice in what happens in their community. Because this incinerator, you'll see it off of I-5, the red and white smokestack as you drive down towards Salem. It's in a low-income Latinx community where there's a lot of other pollution issues and a lot of other environmental racism issues. And Karina's been able to bring that to the community and bring them in. And so I think that really exemplifies like the work that I'm most proud of here at Oregon PSR, is figuring out how we bring the health voice to support the communities that are most impacted by environmental justice, by climate justice, by nuclear justice, by war, militarism, all of these things. And so I'm really proud of the work that Karina's been doing. And I keep telling Karina we're gonna go kayaking together, and we never do. So I think now that I'm gonna be at Colombia River Keeper, I'm gonna have more access to kayaks and places to go. So it is happening. This is not the end. You're not rid of me and my crazy kayak idea. Gosh, is that all the staff that are here? Except for Kamil. Okay, so small but mighty. So without further ado, I do want to introduce Kamil Khan, our new executive director, new and improved. Kamil, I don't know what to say. Here you go.
Hi.
Hi.
I think I'm in the wrong room. It must be. Wow, so humble to be here. On the drive here, I was telling my beautiful wife that I'm getting nervous, and if they make me speak in front of all these wonderful conscious folk, I might have a panic attack. To which she reminded me, a lot of them are physicians. So it seems like this is the right place to go through all those motions. Yeah, I don't know why everyone's so sad. I'm pretty happy today. Thank you, Kelly, for leaving. Wow. Way to go. 13 years. 13 years ago, I was in college doing things that would never make you want to hire me as an executive director. But I'm a big kid now and ready to take this role. A little bit about me. My background is coming from the refugee sector. I worked in the last 8 years in camp setting. I worked in Myanmar. I lived there along the Thailand border. I worked with UN in Bangkok as well. And then came back to the US, worked with International Rescue Committee, and then ultimately realized that immigration is one of those really volatile fields, and I wanted to take a break away from it. But when I heard about PSR, and one of the questions in my interview was, how'd you hear about this job, you know? Which is always an interesting question, and I decided to tell the truth in my interview because that's all I know how to do. So Pat asked me that question again. He was like, how'd you hear about it? And I was like, well, I was on LinkedIn one day and I was stalking the profile of my arch nemesis from high school, Andrew Chin, all right? And let me just tell you, Andrew's the most annoying human being ever. I hope he was here so that he gets to hear this. But he's also most likely voted to win a Nobel Peace Prize in our high school. So that was the passion that Kelly was alluding to that ring. But ultimately, when I saw this organization, I saw in 1985, they won a Nobel Peace Prize. I was like, this is it. This is it. This is the big moment. And so that's why I initially applied, but also because I obviously care about all the issues. Well, this is Kelly's day, and I don't want to take anything away. Kelly, thank you so much. Thank you to the board for your endorsement. I am so humbled, and I hope you all keep this energy 15 years from now and a day later when I transition, because I'm going to say one extra day from you, Kelly. Sorry, a little competitive. Thank you, everyone.